All right, so we're back for question 3. And question 3 is based on the audiologist. What are we doing time-wise? So let's just recap the information we have already. So already we've discussed how much we're making total for each individual test. We know what the cost of each individual test is going to be. We know how many procedures we'd have to do. That was question 1. So in terms of actually answering them, you could just highlight this column and be like, oh, here's my answer for question 1. And then based on the amount of procedures, we've calculated the time. And then this column here is actually what you wanted to calculate for question number 2. So if you wanted to highlight it or copy and paste it, that's what you're answering for question 2. So we know overall, using all of these testing procedures and the amount of time given, it's going to take us 3,610 hours to reach that $1 million. So we need to know, based on who we have on staff already, are we hitting that 3,610 hours, or are we really not hitting it? So what we need to do is look at the amount of professionals we have. We know already we have 1.5 professionals. They're going to be working 6 hours a day. I just typed in all of this from the Word document, so literally it's just typed in. And then they're going to be working 5 days a week for 52 weeks a year. That wasn't actually listed on the assignment. I asked him that in class, and he said just to keep it uniform, go with 52 weeks a year. All you need to do is just multiply these. So 1.5 times 6 times 5 times 52 equals 2,340. So again, if you need to do this on Excel, I'm going to delete it. You just do equals, and then you can type it in to do the math, or this takes a little bit longer. You just click each one and then do times after, which is the little star. And then when you're finally done, just hit enter. So now you're just going to compare these two numbers for question number 3. 3A asks, well, are you hitting the hours? Do you have a deficit? What's going on? So if you need 3,610 hours, but currently you're only working 2,340 hours, we're not reaching that goal. So how to answer question A is it's just like how many excess or deficit hours. So to calculate that, you would just click, and again, you can do all the math in here. So equals, click, minus, and then just hit click. So we're at a deficit of 1,270 hours. So somewhere we need to have someone working an extra 1,270 hours. So that's part A of question 3. It's just, well, what is your deficit? And then specifically, what do you need to do to break even? So the answer would be, you're gonna have to hire somebody. But how do you know who to hire? And what are you gonna do at this point? So literally, all you do is work backwards this time. So just like question 3, we actually multiplied everything. Now we're gonna work backwards. We need to make a total of, we know we have to hit 3,610 hours. So let's put that in, 3,610 total hours. Well, we're still gonna do work 52 weeks in a year. We're still gonna work 5 days a week, and we're still gonna do 6 hours in a day for the project. In the real world, maybe not, but for the project, now let's do equals. And unlike this time, we're going to do 3,610 divided by 52 weeks in a year, divided by 5 days in a week, divided by, is it going to let me click it? 6 days in a week, divided by, oh, sorry, that's it. And you're going to hit enter. So if we're increasing the staff, we're going to need, instead of 1.5 professionals, 2.3141026. the easier way to do this is to just say 2.32. So just round it off. And to answer this question, you can either take your numbers from here and write them in. That's kind of what I did just to make it make more sense. Or you can copy and paste. So you would have to increase your hours in a day, which we said we're not doing in class. So you would have to hire another person to equate to 2.32 professional audiologists to complete that 3,610 hours. So how much is that going to cost us long term? So if you look at this, again, this is the first annual P&L. We know that for 1.5 audiologists, it's going to cost $112,500. Now that's for 1.5. So the easy way to calculate this, again, I'm just using Excel to do the math for me because I suck at math and I don't want to use a calculator. That's too many ways for me to mess up. So $2,500. Oop, those are O's, not zeros. Okay, so $112,500. And currently I have 1.5 audiologists. So the easiest way to do this is to take my amount of money, divide it by my amount of audiologists, which gives me what I'm paying as a salary. So per audiologist, they're getting $75,000. Now, we know that I need 2.31 audiologists, or I'm sorry, 2.32. So all I'm gonna do is take this and I'm gonna times it by the amount of people I need. So I need $75,000 as a salary times, remember we're rounding this, 2.32 professional audiologists, or instead of $112,500, I'm now going to be spending $174,000. So on the P&L, this number is actually going to change. So C is just asking you, what would you have to increase the salary costs? So the salary costs are going to change from $112,500 to $174,000, or the salary costs will change from, just take this minus the original salary. You're going to have an increase of 61500 salary wise. Now again, if you want to do it all in Excel, he said it's fine, or type it out. So, but this is your difference. You're going to be adding 61,500 to what your overall cost is for staffing, and that's part C. Part D now is, how is that going to change your overall net profits? Now, granted, it doesn't just change by that 6150, because our overall net profits are 15 or 20% of what our goal is. So the easiest way to do this is to honestly type this number first. So you're going to go from $331,021.25 to, and he already has everything nicely in here. So let's just go up to our staffing costs, and I'm going to change it in here, and it's going to calculate it all out for me. So instead of this, I said I was going to be 174,000.00, and I'm just going to hit enter because I'm just changing my staffing costs. Once I change my staff costs, go down, it actually automatically already changed my net income. So I wrote everything down originally. I said your overall net income goal would change from 331,021.25 to 201,471.5, which is a loss of $129,549.75. So if you look at the math that you did in part C, as of course I lose it, you're actually, instead of, you might think, okay, well, it's just a difference of $61,500. Not really. When you actually calculate it out as the percentage of what it's going to cost you to staff them, remember there's insurance, there's other things, it's actually going to lose you $129,549. So in order to actually complete that $1 million of work at 3,610 hours, this is how much extra it's going to cost you due to miscalculations in the P&L. So I'll see you again for question 4. I'm going to do that as a separate one.